Good day. I'm JC Crowder with Onyx, Concierge and Media Services, and we're here on location at Breakaway Pictures filming the movie Can You Hear Him by StandFirm Publishing and written by Richard Darling Williams. Today our next guest is Vanessa Anders, and we cannot wait to meet her. So welcome to the show, Vanessa.
Thank you very much.
Oh, good to have you. Now, we've talked about this movie on a different scale, and I know there's a lot of cast members that you guys have worked together, and it was kind of like a family coming back together. And it made it, to me, especially endearing because of the movie. So I first want to get your feedback on what you thought about the character that you played, of Angela Sparks.
My character, Angela Sparks, was the more refined of the two sisters of the Sparks. Angela was the one who helped keep her little sister Lisa more in line because she's kind of smart and bratty. She also was the one that her mother could lean on for comfort and compassion. And she also was the one who was more compassionate towards the father with what he was going through at the time. He has a mega church, but he also got caught up in drugs and alcohol. And so it's kind of taken his focus off of what it should have been on and where it should be.
I understand that you compared this movie possibly to others that you performed in, but how does this movie actually differ? So what are your thoughts about this movie?
This isn't a traditional Christian movie. I really loved working on the set of this movie. This movie makes you stop and think and question your values and morals, and makes you go back to what you were brought up on and believing in. In the movie, there are two characters, two preachers. Now, both of them wanted to be preachers, but for totally different reasons. One of them wanted to be famous. You know, he wanted the gold and the glitz and all of that, but he really lost focus on what his true calling was. He was called to preach, called to minister to the people. He got so caught up in, oh, my church is not this, it's raggedy, it's this, I don't have this. But that's not what his purpose was. So he had to be reminded of what his true calling was. And then there was my father, who had the mega church, you know, the gold, the glitz, the cars, the house. But ultimately he sold his soul to Satan, and that's not what he was called for. So he had to be reminded of that also. But this is a great movie. It also talks about the rapture of the coming of Christ, and it makes you think and makes you remember that you need to get your life straight so that when that time comes, you will get called up. So I really love this movie. And I hope everyone else will love it too, just like I do.
I know, and you give a very descriptive vision of it, and so I'm sure your fan base and everyone else is looking forward to seeing this film. But I also hear that you're working with a great director, Corey Scales, so tell us what it was like working with him.
Well, it was fun working with Corey. This wasn't my first movie with Corey, so I really enjoyed working with him again. Corey gives you direction and allows you to take his direction and step back and bring it into your character. He's the type of director who he'll say, well, you know, I like this, or I really would like this. What do you think about this? How about trying this? So you stop, you incorporate what he says into your idea of what the character should be, and then you go with it. And it's a really fun set, and everybody loves being around Corey and working with Corey.
Absolutely, that's the feedback I normally hear. But I want to thank you for coming out to our show today, and I definitely enjoyed you, and I can't wait for your fan base to take a peek at all of this.
Well, thank you.
So again, thank you, Vanessa Anders.
You're welcome.